All right, welcome back to Shake and Pop. Let me tell you what you're listening to right quick. The Rallies, Notice Me, Peppermint Kicks, Shaking Underground, Gripweeds Live, Spinning the Wheel, Sloan, All Used Up, Lola's, Flowers, and we started with Mod Lang, In Advance. Now, speaking of advanced, I have an advanced CD, yay, of the Blusterfields' new album, Thoughts and Prayers, and we have Todd and Mike here from the band. Let me turn on your microphones.
Hey. Hey, Scott.
There you go. Okay.
We're super happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. And well, just tell me a little bit about the album.
Well, this is our fifth record that we've done since we've been together since
early COVID, not super early.
No, late COVID, 2021. Slightly post-vaccine, and yeah, we're vaccinated, so beware. So this is our fifth record that we did, fifth full length, and our second record was almost a double, so we're almost at 6 albums worth of material.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've been cranking it out,
Yeah,
and so yeah, we've been sort of bearing down on this pretty hard for the last few months, and it's not a concept record, but it does have a central theme, and I'll let Todd tell you what the theme is.
Well, early on, Mike and I had similar political views, which was really nice and otherwise may have been a prohibitive factor. But by agreement, we decided to keep political themes somewhat muted, although I snuck in a lot as the lyricist and co-songwriter. Then things got to the point where when we started working on this record, I just declared that we were going to go there, so to speak.
So is this a political record?
Well, it's protest music.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how we like to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, I have to make a statement real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The views that are expressed in this interview are those of mine and the band and does not reflect the attitudes of WQFS and Guilford College. Okay, now we can talk about anything.
And one specific DJ.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I was on board with that, and we had touched on themes like that before, and it's not all this has hit you over the head, and I think what we were trying to do is stay away from schoolhouse rock,
Right.
know, and not preach and.
Be pedantic.
Yeah, Todd's got the best words, and so it's a lot of it's wry, a lot of it's funny, some of it's tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But I mean, basically, we just want to make good rock jams that kind of you can sort of think about, but at the same time, we are consumed with anger. So,
Yes.
As we should be.
yeah,
Anger and disgust.
anger and disgust.
Mortification.
Yeah. So, as it turns out, I think there's a couple songs on there that are probably outside of that scope, but not too far. I mean, you could tangent to they're politically or protest adjacent, but it's still fun stuff. And then musically, I think we've stretched out a little bit more on this record than in the past.
Okay.
And we're never exactly boxed in.
Very true.
We're not like just power pop or new wave or garage rock or whatever. And so now we've got some proggy bits going on. We've got some the XTC influence has bubbled up again, and as it always does, and there's plenty of jangle pop and plenty of skronky garage rock kind of stuff. And we could have done some funk, or we could have done. We could have gone more proggy, or we could have gone.
Well, I know you love the prog.
Yeah, and Todd and I both are sort of prog nerds, and then of course, in our older repertoire, we actually have a doom metal song that's about.
I remember that.
Yeah. which is about male fragility. Yes. So it's sort of anti-doom.
Disguised in bravado.
Disguised in bravado. But there's a lot of traveling by the band members this summer, so we decided to just go ahead and get it smashed out and get it together and get it done, and get it out there. And
What's the release date?
The 12th of June.
12th of, that's a Friday.
That is, yeah. We're doing just like a real record company.
There you go.
Just bringing it out on a Friday.
Our label recommended.
Our label
Yes.
recommended. And that's what I'm doing right now is being label guy, just hitting up radio stations for interviews,
Yeah.
and hitting up, we've got a radio booker that books us all over, places our stuff all over the world. And
Every continent but Antarctica.
and we are coming for those penguins.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Be
penguins
like Metallica and go play down there.
play down there, yeah.
Yes.
Captive audience.
Yes.
So yeah, we've gotten airplay in Morocco. We've gotten airplay in South Korea, Japan, India.
Awesome.
Chain of hospitals in the UK.
That's the one that I love. There's this. I want to say it's Cheltenham, but I don't think that's right. It's somewhere in the sort of northwest part of Britain, but. It's one of the little outlying counties out there, and there's a hospital network, and I think it's like 3 hospitals, and they have a radio station that's based in one of them that broadcasts all through the hospitals,
Yeah.
and they just have the music going in the background and in the public spaces, and I would assume you could dial into it in the room. And the song that got the radio airplay was off of our 2 records ago, and the song was called "Everyone Is Dead," which is a lovely sentiment for when you wake up from surgery and everyone is dead.
Wow.
So that was pretty fun. So I was proud of that, to be able to have that kind of. And then also we got on a Bangladeshi radio station that's Bangladeshi music and news all day, and then at night locals take it over and play rock music. In London, so
Yeah.
that was kind of
Nice.
kooky.
Nice.
So the Blusterfields on 96.2 Radio Bengal, Bengaluru or whatever. So that was kind of fun. Working that, I'm being label guy right now instead of being lead guitarist, and which I think I forgot how to play guitar, but boy, do I know how to send an email.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Well, talking about, the music and the songs and stuff, I'm going to play one.
Sure.
Big Celebration. Do I need any intro?
No, I think just play it, and hopefully it's obtuse enough for delicate sensibilities.
But I think if you listen to the last couple of lines, you'll understand what we're talking about.
All right.
Yeah.
Here it comes. That was a happy tune. Very much so.
Indeed, yeah. It'll be happier when the actual thing that we want to celebrate actually
wanna
comes
celebrate.
to yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that song will work really well out of context too. Just the chorus.
Yeah.
For some silly, it's like car dealership or something. We could totally sell out and make that kind of money.
I mean, it's in line with Kool and the Gang, and
Right.
was it Rare Earth?
I just want to celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I can make a playlist of celebrate songs.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that one's gonna be our next single. I guess we're gonna try to push that one a little bit to radio and whatnot. Might just do just try to call around and get more Spotify playlisting going on. We're woefully bad at Spotify, and not sure that it's ever gotten us anywhere. So I don't know, and so I don't know exactly. I'm trying to move with the shifting sands, as we all are, and that's just part of almost any business that you're in.
Well, the problem with a lot of the streaming services is it's all predicated on your genre.
Yeah.
So you need to pick the genre and then see if the gatekeepers of that genre will promote you on playlists. And if you aren't really genre specific, then there's
there's one particular way that you get that stuff to those playlisters is through something called Submit Hub, and you buy these little credits, and then usually 1 or 2 credits, which are $1 a piece, you can submit to some playlists. And I had some credits left over from like years ago when I had tried it, and it wasn't this record, it was the last record. And I sent this stuff, and they said they were like doing indie pop and guitar oriented music, and then it'd get back and the guy would go, well, yeah, I really liked it. I especially liked that distorted electric guitar. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what we do, is electric guitars.
Yeah.
And what they thought of was indie pop is not what we think of as indie pop. So, and I could very definitely tell I was talking to somebody who was, young enough to be my grandchild.
Okay.
So it was kind of weird in that regard. But so that kind of thing, I don't know. I just don't know. And the terrestrial radio has actually gotten us some foothold. It doesn't mean that much, I guess, in the long run, but it makes me feel good that people are hearing the music and whatnot.
Well, I've actually played Big Celebration.
I certainly do appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And we are a pop music group. We do make catchy little songs that make that are approachable, and we're not approachable.
Oh, no,
we're
not at all.
We're completely aloof, and but and
I had to pay you to come.
Oh yeah, and you're actually, people can't see this because we're on the radio, but Scott's not actually talking to me. He's talking to my manager, and my manager is relaying the message. He's not allowed to make eye contact.
No, not at all.
Whereas I'm just a pure creation of AI.
That's right. So when does this radio interview devolve into you and I talking about the fact that we went to high school together?
It can go right now.
I grew up 500 yards from here. So
yeah. Mike is a staple in the Guilford College community.
My grandparents, my dad, and my daughter all went to Guilford.
Yeah.
So, and I used to play basketball in the basketball court across the street when I was a kid.
Oh.
I used to go, and I had Cub Scouts on the property too.
I think I came up here on Saturdays or something and played basketball. Yeah,
I would do that and play. I used to run around on the football field. But the thing I would say, and I did want to say about WQFS and about this radio station and why I love it, this radio station literally changed my life.
Oh, yeah.
15-year-old kid, listening to just what I guess we would call just classic rock,
WKZL.
Right, or just whatever, and listening to that kind of stuff. And I was a big record collector and everything, but I'd go into record stores and I'd see all these other bands, and I would also see stuff in like Cream and Circus and Hit Parader and all these magazines about like The Clash and The Jam and XTC and all these other bands. And I just somehow just twiddling the dial one night, and I found QFS, and I think it was further out on the dial back then. It was way out, like at the first radio station to the left. I mean, it was like 87 or something, or 88 or something.
I think you're right, yeah.
But maybe not. And, I heard all these records that I'd maybe heard of, but a lot of stuff I hadn't, and immediately I went from just listening to, Foreigner and Styx to, The Jam and the Clash and Pere Ubu and, stuff like that.
Me.
Yeah, and it literally changed my life. So I'm always happy to come here and hang out and whatnot. So once again, thanks for having us.
Sure.
So
I'll tell you, the first song I ever heard on this radio station, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll.
Yes, I can remember that.
Ian Drury?
Yeah, Ian Drury, yeah.
And I'm like, I like this station.
Do you remember when my old band that you were the manager of,
yes.
we played with World Party a bunch?
Yes.
You remember the guitar player? He was for Johnny...
Blockhead.
Yeah, he's the Blockhead's guitar player, yeah. He's the one who plays that riff. Yeah. Great guy. Johnny Turnbull, that's his name.
That's it.
Johnny Turnbull. He's the guy that sold Pete Townsend his first SG Special.
Oh.
Which he is the guitar that he plays on Live at Leeds.
Yeah.
And the Woodstock, the one he broke at Woodstock.
Yes.
And all that stuff. So, yeah.
Wow.
So he's
I
the
did
one
not know that.
Yeah. He was in a band in the 60s called Skip Bifferty that used to open for The Who. So, and Skip Bifferty went nowhere. But they were really good, but they went nowhere.
I did not know that.
So anyway, back to the Blusterfields.
Yeah.
I want to mention the other Blusterfields.
Please do.
There are three other of us. There is Scott Warren on the bass guitar. There's Mr. Chris Russell on the drums and the percussion, and then there's Mr. William Fox on the keyboards and second guitar.
Nice.
And then our road manager, who is listening from simulcast right now in Alaska, he works 3 weeks every month.
He commutes to Alaska from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He goes out there for 3 weeks, works 21 days in a row, 10-hour days, gets off 2 weeks, flies back, hangs out with his wife, goes back and does it again.
Yikes.
Yeah. So that's Nick Savage, and he's our sort of road manager, merch guy, and occasionally cowbellist.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And he's also the resident millennial in the band. He's the young guy. So he's the one that the girls he's the one that the girls show up for.
You got to have it.
But yeah, we had a particularly miserable load in at a gig a few years ago, and we were just like, after this, the gig was kind of fraught and just one of those things, and we had to haul this gear up all these steps and everything, and we were just like exhausted the next day. We're just like, oh my gosh, we just can't handle these big amps anymore. And we have a pretty ridiculous array of like in-ear monitor, wireless mics, and all this other stuff, so we don't travel particularly light.
Right.
And I just said, we need to get a roadie. And I just put an ad in Craigslist, and this kid,
The dream roadie.
he absolutely is. He's just like, he's just such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
And he total work ethic, and unlike these kids today.
Yeah.
And so that he's sort of like awesome. And every Blusterfields off. This is the first band that I've ever been in where there's not one person in it that I want to kill.
Oh.
Not one.
Nice.
Not
Or even Maine.
Or even Maine.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, let's play some more music here. Let's play Mr. Secretary. Let me cue it right quick. Okay. Here we go. Anything I need to know?
This is probably
listeners.
This is probably one of the least political ones that we have. Although
it kind of has a social justice edge to it.
It does.
But this is one where Mike puts these random working titles on the pieces that when he composes the music, then when they come to me and I put the melodies and harmonies and lyrics in, often I try to challenge myself by keeping his working title, and this is one of those. So I decided, how can I make a song that's built around the theme of Mr. Secretary?
Yeah.
And I was thinking of a certain secretary of the Department of War or whatever they call it.
Right. Yeah. In a totally different direction.
Totally different direction, which is great. And he took it, and I was cracking up. And this is this is one of the sweeter, poppier tunes on the record.
Okay.
Yeah, turn it up.
Yeah,
all right. I like that a lot.
Well, thanks, man.
Very, very, very much.
Most of that piano playing was my cack-handedness. Of the five, I've never seen Chris or Scott play keyboards before, but I think they play. I'm fairly certain I'm the worst keyboard player in the band.
Okay.
Todd here is freaking genius. He's my, at the studio I work at, he's sort of my go-to session guy. And but in the writing process, I just started goofing around on that little silly C to G chord progression, and I actually found that I could move my fingers and make those little pickup notes, and I was like, oh, I'm getting better. So I made a song out of it just so that I could say that I did it. But then Will came in and sort of punched up made it better.
Well, let's talk about the process. We were kind of talking about that. Just the process of writing a song or songs. How do y'all go about doing that?
It was a COVID-based process originally. So Mike and I knew each other a bit through the music community, and we'd crossed paths long time ago at Mitch's when I was recording one of the X-Teens records.
And I was doing the Village Pistols.
Okay.
Same weekend.
We occasionally bumped into each other, and I was about to have a lot of extra free time, and so I was trying to find some musical entanglements, and found Mike on Craigslist, and he sent me some material that I was really impressed with, and then we came and met after we made sure we were fully vaccinated, and I don't think we were masked or anything, but
I don't think so.
He gave me probably about 12 songs that he'd written, all instrumentally, fully produced, but no melodies, no vocals, no lyrics. So I just went into my studio, which is about 28 miles from Mike's studio, and laid down my vocals, flew them to him through the miracle of digital technology, and then I think Mike liked it a lot, and we just quickly started churning out more and more songs. And I think it was within a few months that we had everything for our first record.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even though now we can, safely get together and do things, we still largely adhere to that model where Mike will come up with the full arrangement, full orchestration, if you will, and then I just listen to it in my car as I drive around and kind of listen for lyrical and melodic hooks.
Yeah.
If at all possible, I try to keep his working title, which I think about half the
About
songs.
half, yeah.
About
It's
half
about
the
half.
songs still keep them.
Almost every record is about half.
Yeah. And then I try to keep his arrangements. Occasionally I will lobby him to, lengthen something to 16 bars that was 8. But for the most part, I really like the constraints. They help a lot. And then we get together and get the other guys to play their parts, mostly replacing the stuff that Mike has already produced and played himself.
The last couple of records, we had a fundamental rhythm section change after our second record. I'm going to say for various reasons, but it was all down to my incredibly caustic personality. Our drummer eventually, the original drummer, moved back to Cleveland, and the bass player left for some other reasons, and so we had to get a new bass player and a new drummer. And since we've started working with these guys, the one thing that sort of changed is instead of just having them come in and replace the fancy drum machine stuff and the bass parts that I've put on there, what we've done is like just make a map of the song, say, okay, it's at this tempo, and then we just play it to this grid.
Okay.
And then what I want to keep, like of my guitar parts that I put down at my house, I'll keep, and then I might redo it just to make it groove a little bit better. So we've done, and so it's almost organic. But
in the modern world.
Yeah, in the modern sense. I mean, this stuff is all played. There's no looping,
Right.
particularly.
Right.
There might be some vocal parts that are looped from chorus to chorus or something. But I mean, you sing every verse.
I'll never tell.
Yeah, exactly. And I know on my demos, if I played the bass right on the verse, it's going to just be repeated. But so we let them come up with their parts and play off of that, and it's utterly the most anticlimactic thing. They just, by the time we get in there and get set up, and we start rolling quote unquote tape, they're done and it's perfect, and we're just kind of like, holy
they're
cow!
like 1 or 2 take guys too.
Yeah, and it's just
amazing.
it's ridiculous. And then we get Will, the fifth Blusterfield, come in and just put his treacly bits on.
He's the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
His backup vocals, guitars,
Okay.
Yeah,
keyboards.
and he's also the best looking Blusterfield too. So he's like really, he's like
gotta have that.
He's really tall and handsome.
Okay.
And I mean, no offense, Todd, but and then at Hondo Creek where I work, the commercial studio that I work at, we just mix and mix and mix and mix, and Todd will come down and we'll just mix and mix and mix, and it kind of went. This is the longest we've taken for an album, I think.
Yes.
But not because we've slaved over the material so much or had trouble writing. It's just we were playing and doing other stuff. And
You weren't doing Steely Danning to it.
No, but I quib with my vocals on this more than anything else I've done.
and then I wrote a bunch of songs for this record. I mean, a gaggle, maybe 50 pieces over a year.
Okay.
And
15 easy.
no, I seriously I have a folder it's got 50 pieces in it.
Wow.
You didn't hear a lot of them because they're crap.
Good grief.
Yeah, they're crap. But I had a fair amount of these pieces, and they didn't fit with the vibe, or I became displeased with them or something like that. And I've already got 5 new pieces, in the thing for whatever we do next. So maybe one is good. And
Yeah, Mike is ridiculously prolific.
yeah, I mean, where I write and record this stuff is also where I teach guitar.
Yeah.
So, like, if I have a student at, I teach a lot of retirees because I live near Farrington Village, and so I'll teach some retiree at like 1 o'clock, and then the kids start running in at 3 and 3:30, and I'll just have that 2 hours, and I'll just be sitting there, and I'll come up with a lick or an idea and just start goofing on it. But
Nice.
none of that now. Now I'm being record mogul.
Yes.
I'm totally got that going on. So, and you have to do what you can do to make sure that your records don't die on the vine.
Yeah.
I'll never complain about it, but I don't want to complain about it. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. But there's always something. There's some sort of. I mean, when I first sort of like when I was a teenager, I was in this band, and you probably had this in the X Teens as well. Were you guys actively searching for a record deal in the 80s? I mean, you had one.
We connected with Dolphin Records, which was part of Record Bar.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were our label, and also, looking to shop us out if the Kismet happened. But so we labeled up pretty early on.
So this band I was in was the sort of upper management people at Peaches took a liking to us, and they had some connections with A&R people in New York, and we were teenagers, and we were not good. I mean, we were okay. We were good for teenagers, but and the main songwriter was extraordinarily good, and we could sing and harmonize and all that stuff, but we were not ready for prime time by any stretch. But that's where it sort of started. It's like, getting your stuff to A&R people. And so all through the 80s, and I went to England and did this, and in England it was a completely different kettle of fish. You could literally go to the record company and sit there and take a meeting with the A&R people.
Okay.
And I had a meeting at Virgin, and I think, and it could be my brain playing tricks on me, that Richard Branson was in on the meeting. We were not picked up, but we got very close to being picked up by Stiff. This is a completely different band. Got close to being picked up by Stiff Records.
Okay.
It was a quorum of two and one of the guys absolutely loved us, and the other guy, who had more clout, didn't hate us. He despised us.
Oh.
So there was, and I'm so happy that they didn't, because all those songs were like goofy novelty songs, and to thought that I'd still be playing some of those songs to this day at the state fair near you.
Oh,
that frightens me.
Okay.
Well, we're very interested in getting our material heard by as broad an audience as possible.
Sure.
But I'm not sure we're inclined to, live 300 days out of the year in a van smelling each other's breath and living on $12 per diem.
Yeah, I mean, just the 45-minute drive up here from Hillsborough was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
But there's always little challenges that you have to do, and the gatekeeping, I guess, is the word that is fashionable now, is completely different, and you have to know what it is, but what exists now that didn't exist years ago when we started this stuff is the niche market, where you can find your niche and work that, and find your 1,500, 2,000, 5,000 fans that want to buy, that want to support you, and that's
buy your
what
Bandcamp.
Buy your band. I had some guy from Greensboro, I can't remember his name, I'd give him a shout out right now. He bought 3 copies advance of the CD, just all by himself. Just 3 copies. It's like, well, that was nice, and not 3 different CDs, 3 of this one. Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. But so we just need like 20,000 more of him, and that'd be great.
Well, let's do one more song.
Sure.
This one was your first single.
Yeah, from the new album.
Here Come the Idiots.
Yeah.
I don't think that needs an introduction.
It doesn't, and that's another one of those titles that I came up with, and it
fit into the rhythm of the piece in a certain place, and just made sense.
So and it's sort of our bombastic garage punk.
Cool. Let's do it.
Yep.
Wonderful. I liked it. Like you said, punky, garagey.
And then the big giant vocal extravaganza at the end, the one-man Todd Jones Glee Club. That one, we played that live for the first time, I guess, back in December, and we definitely, got Chris and Will, on the backing vocals and all that stuff, but there's a lot of parts, and so I guess you kind of had to create sort of something for There's more than 3 vocals on that, I would think.
There's a lot of doubling and tripling.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 or maybe 4 parts. I can't remember.
And so I was just, and it sounded okay in rehearsal, but you know how rehearsal is. And we had this just incredibly good monitor mix that night, and so I could really hear the vocals. And I was like, and I wasn't about to chime in. I was just I just stopped and listened and let them do it. And it was like, wow, that was impressive. And I was kind of facing them, and I turned around and we're facing the crowd, and everybody was just like slack jawed.
Yeah,
because that like sort of punk ska pop song goes to that. That was a whole lot of fun.
Mormon Tabernacle.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and there's bits of histrionics like that all over this new record.
And that was an example of me changing the arrangement. I thought of that vocal ending.
Yeah, that vocal, I had no. The song just ended at the end of that, where it sort of naturally ended, and then that came on when he sent it back to me, and I was like, "Oh man, that's just great." I said, "How are we going to pull that off?" And I was super surprised that we were able to pull that off, and so yeah. And the other thing I want to say about the album is that my wife did the artwork on the cover.
I was going to ask you about the cover art.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. It's not, we're not, we did actually, there was another piece on the inside that we decided to back down on.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into it over here. It's not filthy or gross or anything.
No,
it was just over the edge, and it's still over the edge, but only barely. But yeah, obviously we're on radio, but the front cover I had this idea of a guillotine. And because us, hardcore lefties are all about the guillotines, and there's been so many let them eat cake moments in the past couple years, that but I didn't want to have a super violent image. So what I thought would be funny would be to why don't we take a guillotine and just cover it in flowers, like it's disused.
Yeah.
And so
it's still there.
It's like a guillotine in an English flower garden. It's just all but it's still there.
Rose
it's
petals
still there.
Evoke some
and
blood.
and the head basket is full of roses, and then just kind of there's some petals in the foreground, just as like little drops.
Yes.
And then I was sort of thinking about it. It's like I didn't intend this. I'm not a visual artist at all. But I thought, well, the subtlety is like, it's guillotine cutting, final cutting this off. We need to cut off the coarseness in our society and our stuff. We need to,
except for the songs that we put on it.
Except for the songs we have, which are quite coarse. Yeah, we that last song did have some words in it.
Yes,
and
you made me a clean copy.
Well, we ended up deciding to go ahead and put the clean copy as a bonus track, and there's another song that has the another word in it.
Yes,
and
a very naughty word.
The naughtiest word.
Yeah, that'll get you big fines.
Yeah, and so I put a thing instead of that word. I just put something that sounds like like that, just like a fire alarm.
Okay.
But we're lucky to have Anna in our stable because we're pretty anti-AI as a rule.
There you go.
So I did a couple of singles with AI art, and I thought it was really cool for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And now I'm completely not in that camp anymore, and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
AI is going directly for the creative class, and I want to play no role in that.
Yeah, and so we didn't do that. And in fact, the guillotine that I used for Source, I went and bought from an image or stole from an image library that was they swore it was non-AI.
Yeah.
And it was a photograph of a model, and that was hand built. It was not from a kit or anything. Somebody had built like a
guillotine kit. Do they sell them?
Oh, dude, I used to have a guillotine model when I was a kid. Yeah, you could buy one, and it came
small one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could buy it, and had a little guy on his head cut off, and the whole thing. Yeah, it was cool. I think
what a childhood you had.
Well, my brother, I think it was my brother's, but it was plastic, plastic guillotine thing, and then when the blade fell, the little guy's head fell in the basket. The French Revolution was very popular when I was young.
Yes.
But so I sourced that, and then I just went in Photoshop and just grabbed a bunch of English garden stuff, and then just sort of photoshopped it on top of it, just kind of make a mock-up, and then I just said, here, paint this, but do it better, and I figured it was going to take her a week, and I handed it to her at like 1 o'clock, and then at like 4 o'clock she just comes and hands it to me.
Nice.
Like, great.
Yeah. Very creative.
Yeah. And she even took the pictures of the band in there, so she's just like all into the thing. And So we're not able to like hawk our website or anything like that online on radio or anything like that. I didn't think so, but we're out there. We'll find us.
Yes, you can find them. And the CD, it's a CD only release or
no,
digital?
it's going to be digital.
Okay.
You'll be able to.
There's a vinyl option too, right?
Is there vinyl?
There's a place called Elastic Stage. It's in Britain, and it's a one-off vinyl company.
Okay.
And so basically, what I've done is uploaded it all to there with cover art and everything, and it doesn't have the bonus tracks on it because it's too long. So
Right.
it's fully just full of cuss words. You can order it from them, and
Okay.
it takes about 4 weeks. They're made to order. I don't know how good they sound. We're getting some test pressings in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And souvenirs, just to so if you're a super Blusterfields fan, you could get that. So it's the usual sort of Bandcampy kind of stuff, and then it'll be on Spotify and all that other jazz.
Okay. Well, I've really enjoyed this.
Much to my chagrin.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Yeah,
and
man, it's been a
thanks
lot of fun.
to
It's
WQFS.
yeah.
Yeah, go Quakers.
I've got to play some PSAs because I have.
Can we read them?
No, they're on the computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't have to
computer won't
read them
track them.
anymore.
I used to love to read PSAs.
Oh
when I
yeah,
could.
yeah. But I'm going to play something while I line up some of these things. But thank y'all,
Yeah, man.
Blusterfields,
We're here.
Mike and Todd, and the music will be out June 12th.
The album is Thoughts and Prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Ironically titled.
There you go. Okay, well, let me play some music here, and I'll be back in a little while.
Skinnerd.
Of course.